Hi, this is Nova. Welcome back to Otakuspect. This is Rune, and this is Zork, and we're here to talk today about SNK, otherwise known as Attack on Titan.
I like to call it Parent Aiding Simulator.
Well, SNK is also known as Shingeki no Kyojin, which in Japanese means Titan attacks, but the creator actually switched it out to Attack on Titan, which really doesn't make that much sense, but, you know, we're gonna roll with it. We're fans. We'll go along with anything.
Yeah, it's just anime. It's not supposed to make sense.
That's true.
Honestly, I think that it hits the ear better to say Attack on Titan than like the other way around.
Titan Attacker?
Titan Attack. It just sounds like a really bad video game if you think about it.
Yeah, it does.
That's true. By the way, we have another friend on the show today. Her name is Vice, and as well as us three, we will not be revealing our identities, but we'll get to have another person's input today. So, we'll start out with the powers that the Titans actually have, and by Titans, I do mean the human transforming Titans. Obviously, the most well-known one is Annie with her freezing diamond crystalline ability, which has never really been explained that well.
She's a water type.
Pokemon references aside, any thoughts on the attacking, how it can be better, how bad it is, how it's not explained, anything like that?
Like they're trainers.
I was thinking about the episode like on of Pokemon. Well, no, like the stones that you could get.
Yeah.
I can't remember, like the water stone or something.
You have a Titan the Water Stone.
Honestly, I felt like it was unique to her being very kind of a cold person, her being able to harden up like Diamond, but I felt like it was really stupid when she finally got caught by Eren and finally got defeated, how she encased herself in Diamond. I felt that was very unresolved.
Haha, you'll never get me now.
But at the same time, it does set her up as a position in the future to be able to come back out and help her other fellow Titans who are against the humans. And it is more like, if you're going to lose a fight and you know you're about to be taken by the government and possibly killed for being a Titan Transformer, then at the same time, you don't really want to be captured. It is a fairly good trump card.
On a previous note, do you know what an Eevee's favorite thing to do is? Get stoned. Oh, come on. Like,
Okay, then. How about the Colossal Titan? We're like just going to add this in as a power, but the fact is, he's able to peek over the wall. Do you have any ideas on that? Any thoughts?
Yeah, he's a peeper.
Any other thoughts that are not perverted about Titans?
Oh, come on, that takes all the fun out of it.
Like, okay, legitimately, I didn't feel like they explained a lot of stuff on Titans, and I get that they're like, they had the whole thing of like, oh, we don't even know that much about Titans. All we know is that they're big human forms of us, yet they're not human forms. So what
and
are
they also eat humans.
Yeah, and then that felt like a huge cop-out to me. And especially with the Colossal Titan that could come from lightning out of nowhere, that just upset me, and it was like the biggest cop-out ever. Oh, we don't know.
Well, at the same time, the series wasn't actually meant to get that far. You know when all the kids started dying on their first time out in the troops, how the whole regiments were all going out to take out the Titans, and they were all dying, and that's about the same time that Eren died? That was actually meant to be the end of the series. The creator decided that because the series was so popular, that he would continue the series from that point on, and that's actually where we get our American version of Attack on Titan from. And at the same time, there is a confirmed second season coming out, which, considering they're going to the lab to get to where Eren's dad had info on the Titans, they may be resolving that issue very soon, too. Anyways, okay, so other powers, the Armored Titan.
Oh, also to give a counter-argument to what you just said, Doc and Marty, the short little cartoon, you know what I'm talking about, right? Yeah. That was only supposed to be a 5-minute short, but then Adult Swim decided to change it and call it Rick and Morty, and that has a huge lore to it, so.
I love Rick and Morty.
Okay.
I know, it's so good, right?
Anyways,
He's a
Armored
cute place
Titan.
to make
Any
that.
thoughts on the power of actually being able to armor itself?
I think that is the tits. I think that is really cool that he can do that.
In all honesty, I think it is the best superpower of all the Titans because it's not so much that you can I mean, being able to be giant and break through the wall itself is pretty great. But the fact is that the Armor Titan is small enough to be able to go anywhere at once. Yeah, at the same time, it can break through the gates. So
I also think that the reason why the Colossal never sticks around for very long is because something that large consumes a lot of power in a very short amount of time. Like when Eren tried to go full Titan the second time trying to reach the boulder, he did have a slight goal set in mind, but he was also exhausted at that point. So he didn't really have enough momentum to do the job at hand. So the reason why the Colossal never really sticks around for very long is because being so big and doing
so much, like breaking through the wall.
Yeah, it just takes away. That's why he never sticks around for very long. He just vanishes.
Honestly, I feel like the Armored Titan is a more upgraded version of Annie's form of the Titan.
Yeah, very true. And at the same time, with the whole being tired out and all that, they did reveal later on when Eren was able to turn to Titans that Titans are very light. They're even the scientist girl was able to pick up the arm of the head of the Titan that she had already killed because they are so light. So at the same time, even though they're so strong, it does make sense that they are able to spring from a human just at a moment's notice. But considering how big the Colossal Titan is compared to the other Titan Transformers, it would make sense that a lot more energy is expended.
You know what really doesn't make sense to me is like how come, you know how the Armored Titan and then the Colossal Titan and Annie's Titan, they're all actual people who have the abilities, but Annie's Titan and Eren's Titan are the only ones that look like their character.
Yeah,
you know what?
That makes sense.
I do agree with that one. However, if you'll look at the character pictures, Bertolt he doesn't really look like his Titan, but at the same time, he is one of the taller characters of the series. And so that does it doesn't exactly spell it out, but at the same time, it does kind of give you an inkling of which one he is. And the fact that he is kind of pointed out as one of the more outstanding characters, because you know how they never spent very much time on all the troops and all the regiments, but at the same time, they did very specifically point out Bertolt and Rainer, even when they were training to be able to use the motion gear, when Eren was asking them for help. The only people they pointed out besides them was Mikasa, Armin, and Annie. And then Emir and Historia were a few of the other ones that actually were pointed out.
Well, another little fact is that the top 3 conversations had with any average otaku is, what Titan power would you have? And I know that everybody here would probably say armored. Yeah. Considering that it's, sturdy and it doesn't look like it'd break, because Eren's, even though he can regenerate just as fast as the other Titans, he still looks really soft.
Yeah, also he's more new to it.
Yeah.
If you think about it, they probably went into it already knowing what they were getting into, already knowing how they were going to be able to control themselves, unlike Eren, who kind of it just took him by surprise after he got eaten himself.
Surprise, motherfucker.
And my biggest question is, why are all of these people who are also Titans going against the human race and letting the rest of the Titans consume what's left of people? Because some of these people know what it is that they're doing. Turning into Titans, breaking down walls, rampaging on people in small towns, and yet it's like they're trying to make humans be extinct.
I'm going to be honest, that is a little bit of what I like to call, regular anime conflict. That, if you look in most animes, there's always some sort of conflict that has that.
And I call it stereotypical.
It may be, but there are definite psychosis that can be attributed to characters of this type. But at the same time, let's assume that you're living in a world where you're the last haven away from the Titans. And the fact is, you're able to transform into Titans, and there are other Titans around you. And there is a female Titan. We know that for definite because Annie is a Titan. So at the same time, you could possibly repopulate with the Titan DNA.
They don't have any genitals.
Well, no. You could repopulate as humans and possibly create a child that could turn into a Titan.
Annie has breasts, which I don't get why, if they can't even reproduce. Maybe it's just for the fact that she's female, or maybe it's just to see, the world's largest chest on an HD screen.
Of course, that's exactly why they did that.
But as a human, they could repopulate as humans and possibly make children that could also turn into Titans. And considering that there are all the Titans that have already taken over the rest of the world, if they were able to make a city of the same size that they are currently living in, of just people who can transform into Titans, then a lot of the world would basically belong to them. They would be at the top of a chain of command of just their own family. They would be like kings ruling over the rest of them, and they could keep going until they've repopulated the entire planet.
Going back on the note where you said that you didn't understand about how the people who were able to turn into Titans were turning on their own kind, well, if you look back at Annie's character, you can kind of see where she's got some kind of sociopathic attitude going on. So when she starts lashing out on the other scouts, it's kind of not exactly unsurprising.
Yeah.
Very true.
But at the same time, what do they have to gain from getting rid of the human race?
Well, I think that's what we're going to find out soon, obviously.
Definitely in Season 2, along with the whole Wall Titan thing. Let's just jump over to that for a minute, because the Titans in the Wall were really a surprise that even captured me unawares. So what do you guys think about it? Are they just like shoulder to shoulder, or are they just kind of every few feet there's another Titan?
They're sitting in the wall holding hands, singing, "We shall overcome."
Kumbaya, my friend, kumbaya.
I'm the only one who thought when Aaron's mom got like eaten was kind of comical in a way.
Yeah,
It really
Yeah.
was.
It just seemed really goofy and poorly.
And everybody
didn't seem
kind of saw it
serious.
coming.
It's just like he just kind of like turned around. And he's like,
Oh my God, Mom.
Mammy.
At the same time, especially in the first episode, that is a pretty strange way, pretty heavy way to start out an entire series.
No, honestly, I think they were trying way too hard for that episode. I mean, you have to like at least give us like a little bit of a leeway before you just automatically like that. I mean, okay, like Yu Yu Hakusho starts with like first episode, the main character is dead, and that was really already emotional because it set up a build-up. But they were in this episode, like the first episode of this, it was already giving us so much information, and it was like too much information to like really even get to know Aaron or his mom, the relationship that they had. But like, and I'm just gonna
Because
keep using.
if you watch further, you know, if you decide to continue past this kind of bulky, heavy amount of information, they kind of just drop on you right away. Later, when Aaron is trying to get out of wake up while he's in his Titan form, and like he's kind of like stuck in his memories, you kind of like process his relationship with his family at that time. You know, how he kind of just was like, oh, I'm just going to stay inside because it's so warm and nice, and his mom was so sweet to him, and you kind of just inferred what kind of relationship they had.
Yeah.
But I feel like it really was a lot that you kind of just meet the characters and then, like, they're gone, and you don't really know that much about them, and you have to wait to find them.
It's literally like just showing me a picture of a character and then saying his mom dies, and then I'm supposed to go, oh, okay.
Anyways,
Like
okay.
this close to being
So
Jehovah's Witness.
here's the next one. The sacrifices counter. And at the same time, there are a ton of people who died. Like,
Yeah.
a pretty strong competitor for even Homestuck right now with all the people that are dying. So let's just leave in a little leeway to mess around with this episode later, because this is one of our first episodes. Forgive us if we never get around to this.
I'm actually wondering, does Attack on Titan hold the highest count for most deaths in a single season? Because it looks like it'd be it would
probably
at least
not,
be in
no.
the top 5.
Well,
I
actually, no.
Yeah, no, it like,
What about
There's a
Death
lot
Note?
more.
yeah,
Is it?
like,
Yeah. Okay. There's
but
one,
like,
yeah.
I mean,
Okay, what
think
about Massacre?
Think about like Berserk. That
Yeah.
had tons of death in it,
Yeah.
and like that was just one season. Like, and literally, it drops the bombshell of like, he's gonna spend his whole life in hell at the end of it. So.
All right. Okay, so here's a little area for our MVP, our most valuable player, most loved character. Let's hear around the circle for just who each of our favorites are. You want to go first, Sort?
Favorite character?
Yeah.
I mean, I would say Aaron, but I also have a deep, passionate love for Levi,
Mhm.
as most girls do. But that's only because like he reminds me so much of Leon Kennedy, and that the fact that they casted the English voice actor with Leon Kennedy, it was like,
All right, Vice.
I would say that my favorite character is Armin because, I mean, out of all of the characters, he is definitely the most dynamic because you see him go from the shy, really quiet person to someone who starts to take charge and starts to lead the other people, or the other scouts, to know what to do in a situation. He seems to be really the only level-headed person besides Mikasa.
so not only that, but he reminds me so much of Tails from Sonic the Hedgehog.
Dude, he
Right?
probably technically is the Tails just because
Yeah.
he's kind of always following them.
It's just he's not suicidal.
Yeah.
Don't,
then-
we don't, let's not start that creepy.
Yeah, let's not go over there. Nova?
Well, then who's Mikasa in that dynamic? of
Mikasa
Sonic?
would be like probably
She's not
Knuckles.
dynamic. She's a static character, definitely.
Knuckles' body with Amy's personality.
Definitely.
Okay, so Nova,
Except
character?
personally.
My favorite character would have to be a tie between Annie and Hanji, mainly because I think they are incredibly beautiful, but at the same time, I'm also scared shitless in so many ways.
Okay, my favorite character is definitely Hanji because she's just so... She mirrors my personality so much. She's so excited and happy to be able to do these experiments, even though these experiments are creepy and just completely overblown and just... She's just torturing Titans, and she's so happy about it.
I
It's
love
so
her.
hilarious. Like, I could get along with her perfectly.
Well, she's really enthusiastic, and I think that's what everybody comes to like about her. Even if she's not the favorite character amongst everyone, she's the one that people will recognize.
Can we
Yeah.
take a moment to appreciate that the English voice actress was Ashley Birch, that also did the voice for Tiny Tina in Borderlands 2. Also has her own show on YouTube that's called Hey Ash, What You Playing? And it's literally the best show on YouTube, and it's...
Oh yeah, way to speak of ours, man.
Wait, what'd you say?
I'm gonna be
The
really sappy for a second. I really have not watched the English dub.
the
I've
English
only-
dub was pretty great.
Even though I am Bryce Papenbrook fan girl for life, I have not watched it. I think I've watched one episode, saw that they pronounced Mikasa's name a little bit weird, and then got kind of turned off. by it.
Mikasa?
Yeah, they just said it a little bit weird for me. Like, they say it more Japanese in the English version than they do in the actual Japanese version.
Well, it's like when they do that saying, Mikasa e Sukasa.
Yeah.
All right.
That's where it correlates.
As I was just praising the English voice actors, I've never seen one English episode.
Right?
Yeah.
It's weird. And I don't get why they're all German and she's the only one who's Japanese. Does
Because
anybody
her
get
family
that?
got killed.
No, I mean, I know that her family was Japanese too,
Actually,
but they were
all
the
of
only
them-
Japanese family. Doesn't that-
Actually, I just want to point out that all the characters in the series, according to the creator, are pretty much all different nationalities, and there's actually been lists released about which nationalities they are.
they
So
all have
it's
German
not-
names except for
And
her.
don't forget that they're all little bitches.
okay then.
All right, I gotta go to work.
All right, Vice is leaving us. She actually has to go to work, so we'll have to finish the episode without Vice. All right, so let's just get out the rest of this. Our most hated character.
She would have been perfect for that.
Most hated character?
Come on, most hated character.
Aaron, honestly. Honestly, like, even though he's the main character, I honestly felt like he didn't hold his weight in the show until he became a Titan.
I can
Well,
understand
yeah,
that.
but that's a given. He was supposed to be a pansy.
Well, no, I mean, like, I felt like they were, like, it was the typical, like, he's really enthusiastic about this thing. It's very generic and very plain and drawn out. And then right when he turns out, oh, he is a Titan, it's like, now he has some leverage. But beforehand, it was just, I'm going to be something scout.
Recon.
Recon scout. And I'm going to do this, and it's going to be my destiny. It was just like, I swear to God, I saw a mirror of when Sakura was saying, I'm going to date Sasuke.
That is a good aphorism. Nova?
Well, considering that he's also Titan, so would it be generic or genetic? Think about it.
Anywho, Nova,
Okay,
character?
Most hated would have to be the dad, because he left at the beginning. He kidnapped his son and drugged him. I mean, he's just gone, and he's not coming back. They showed an episode where he was riding horseback, hurrying on his way to get back to them. It's been 5 freaking years. He's already grown up. He already has experienced so much. He's already witnessed his mom's death, and his dad is just gone.
He already witnessed his mom's death. Like, it's a normal thing in every life.
Yeah. Well, it is when you're an anime character.
Yeah, it is.
And it's just...
Or in Yu Yu Hakusho, your mother experiences your death.
Well, yeah, and I really don't like his haircut and the fact that he's got a pencil mustache like some sort of creepy villain from the 50s. It doesn't make any sense.
Alrighty then. Okay.
Creepy free.
So, my most hated character, and you gotta keep in mind, I've seen the manga, I've seen the English sub and the English dub. So, basically, I pretty much know everything that is currently up to date on this series. But the one person that I hate out of all these characters, and I'm going to get some serious feedback on this one, but I really hate Marco. And it's not for the reasons that you think, okay? Here's Marco, and he's just a cool little guy, and I wouldn't hate him for that, okay? He's like a nice guy, he's actually kind of cute, and he's an okay guy, right? However, here's the thing. He gives one pep talk to the leader, a leader who is freaking out about everything, and he goes and tells the leader how he's admiring him to build up his spirit, right? Gay shipping. There is no scenes in the entire anime or the manga of where Jean or Jean, however you want to say it, returns any of Marco's affection except for after when he's dead, when he's saying, basically, I miss you. At the same time, he did ogle Mikasa, like the very first time he saw her, and then kind of had a little tantrum as soon as he realized that Mikasa was pretty much following Eren around. There is no real evidence that
You're turning into me.
John or Jean had any gay tendencies,
Yeah,
and yet half
okay?
the fandom,
It's hard to bear.
and yet half the fandom is already freaking out about the gay shipping. So this is the one reason I hate Marco.
No, legitimately. Do you understand why I'm saying that you're like me now? Because you're hating it because of fan base, and I'm not. And like, as much as I do hate myself for doing that, I don't feel like it's a real valid point to hate a character.
And you're not going to feel that way until one of the actresses or biggest fans in the world comes up to you and punches you square in the throat.
Yeah.
Anywho, I don't really hate him as a character. I just hate his role in the anime.
Yeah, I can kind of agree with you there. But see, you lost me with the fact that you said that he's cute.
He's a character that's aimed to be cute. I mean, he has freckles on his face. His hair is just parted directly in the center, and he's basically shown as an object of the guy that's timid, okay? The timid stereotype is usually reserved for girls who other characters want to see as cute. So therefore, at the same time, he is portrayed as cute. Anywho, he did get bitten in half by a Titan, so I can't really go after him too hard, but I don't think he'll ever be all right again.
No, that was really good. I'm gonna have to give it a fist bump on that. But he wasn't really cut in half. He was like really bitten just down the middle.
How would you have that much precision? Because like, have you ever tried to bite like a peanut butter jelly sandwich in half?
Well,
It's difficult.
At the same time, if you notice the Titans, some of them, like there was one scene when the squads were just going out, and they just jumped up and bit one person off at the waist. The Titans really are more precise than we give them credit for, because they'll snag people straight out of the air while they're using their motion
In
their
that
mouth.
defense though, like, okay, like, have you ever been you've eaten a jelly bean, like
An M&M
gummy bear?
Yeah.
You've
Okay.
eaten a gummy bear, like the head off of it, right?
Mm-hmm.
I never
Still
could.
still has that little indent, and also I noticed in the show, which I really did like that, it did have a little bit of an indent. But then also, when you bite it down the middle, you can still see that indent.
Well, at the same time, in the anime and even in the
I'm
manga,
nitpicking, though.
it
This
was
is just-
kind of obscured by black, which I believe is more at an attempt at censoring or seeing it from John's vision than it is showing the actual death of Marco. So at the same time, I can see why they wouldn't put that in the anime.
It was supposed to be emotional.
Well, another thing
Yeah.
is that I don't think anybody seems to realize occasionally is that the Titans are determined to eat the humans. And I look around, I've seen like a couple of scenes where the Titans have seen like cattle walking by, and they were just like, eh. They don't even eat the horses. They don't even eat other livestock or other animals. They just eat humans.
Well, it was told in the anime that the Titans don't need to actually eat food or eat any livestock, but they just hunt down the humans mainly for
I know,
fun.
and they've got a hard-on for humans, and I don't get why that is. And they're like plants. They need sunlight to maintain momentum and
That's actually
stability.
one of the biggest flaws I've had with the show. Like, why? What's the point of it?
Well,
like,
at the same time, we did already go over how they're very lightweight. They're not much like, when you hit them, steam comes out. So at the same time, you gotta realize that it probably wouldn't take all that much to maintain them through sunlight if we're going by plant standards.
Okay, a question here. What do you think the steam smells like? From a Titan?
okay, like have you ever smelled like you've seen steam can come from blood, right?
Yeah.
Think of like that same sort of smell, but like times like 1,000.
Because it mainly is steam inside the body.
Yeah. So that's basically what I think it is.
That's
Because
gotta
like
be gross.
because like no, think about it. Like the body is so huge that the body temperature's got to be insanely a lot more hot.
Mm-hmm.
So that's why I think that the second you cut it open, steam comes out.
I know, but I don't get how they have so much control. Like when Aaron was doing tests on himself, like with all the bite marks, and then he went to reach for a spoon, and then he got the Titan arm, and the spoon was completely unharmed.
Well, at
And
the same time, again, it was showing that he was going with a purpose in mind, and his purpose wasn't to bend the spoon. His purpose was to pick up the spoon. And that's when he realized that in order to transform into a Titan, he had to have an injury and a purpose.
I swear to God, I thought Hanji was going to take the spoon out of Aaron's Titan hand and walk up to him and look him dead in the eye and say, "Want a spoon, little boy?" I mean, come on, that wouldn't have been hilarious.
I can imagine
Would've
that,
been
sadly.
50-50, honestly.
Alright, here's the other thing I gotta say about the Titans being so precise, like being able to bite Marco directly in half, is that have you ever tried to catch like a Skittle when someone's throwing it directly at your face and you're like directly in front of your face? Like, have you ever tried to just do that? Because the Titans are able to grab the kids out of the air while they're swinging past them. They must have incredible speed and precision to actually be able to snag a kid out of the air.
Except for that
with
one
their
that
mouth.
like the one
Considering
that
how
has
much
his
light.
hands at his waist and then like dang, crashes into walls. Not him. He's
Not all of them, but some of them.
I know every time that episode comes on, my sister yells out, "I'm fabulous!"
Oh
As he's
my
running down
gosh.
as he's running down the alley. No, it is hilarious.
Alright, and
Especially
then
the way she does it.
here's one of the other things I have to pick about the anime, okay? We see in the anime that obviously Mikasa has a lot of feelings for Eren,
Even though she's gay.
and at the same time, a lot of people
Wait,
are.
she's a lesbian?
No,
Can you
she's
not see that? She
Anyways,
looks
at the
totally
same time, the only confirmed ships that we have, well, obviously one of those didn't end too well. Cough, cough. We're not mentioning that here. But at the same time, the other ship that was
I think
doing
it was alright.
At the same time, the other ship that we know is going
Played
full
the
and
same
well
card he did.
is
It was a little hard to read for me.
Amir and Historia, okay? And those are really the only two canon relationships that we have going, and Eren still hasn't really returned Mikasa's feelings. He just kind of sees her as like a sister, right? So I don't really get why.
Which, okay, no, I completely understand why they haven't done that. If you grow up with someone and treat them like a sister your whole life, would you automatically randomly just decide, all right,
Bone. Just bone. That's all we're gonna say. Bone.
Yeah, I would, considering that it's like the 1800s and there's nothing else to do except kill Titans
Well,
and eat and sleep.
considering the fact that their society, that might be socially acceptable.
Yeah, and
At the same time, I do kind of realize that we've actually seen this in the fan base in different points in time, but a lot of the fans currently think that Mikasa and Armin will get together, and Eren will get together with Annie, and honestly, I see that ship a lot more.
I feel like that would be like a really good ship because like Armin really does seem like he's actually genuinely attracted to Mikasa, but Annie, honestly, I don't think she's gonna end up with anyone. And honestly, if Eren ends up with anyone, I'm just gonna be mad.
I'm pretty sure Annie is a lesbian. And I'm pretty sure that Eren has like an intense fear of her, considering that not only is she like a more powerful Titan, but she can sweep him off his feet literally any day of the week.
Wrong. I feel like
Honestly-
Levi and Annie are gonna
they're too emotionally distant from themselves, much less each other.
Exactly.
No, that's
And
why.
honestly-
That's why opposite people pair up. Like usually in,
That would be the best one night stand.
but in a couple,
Oh my gosh.
in a couple, it's usually there's like one person that talks a lot and one person that doesn't say much. One person who's really funny and the other person.
Wait,
just doesn't
no,
have a
let me
sense of
change
humor.
that. Okay, Aaron.
And
And
Hanji.
Hanji.
Yeah.
Dude, she's
Oh
like
my
20 years
gosh,
older
dude,
than him.
no.
Dude, no, it was like nobody talks to someone for a full night just about one topic if they're not thinking.
In his
This person's
defense,
gonna-
he was there to learn about his Titan powers, and she had info on the Titans that he wanted.
And she was obviously sexually she was sexually deprived.
Actually, considering she's in the Recon Scouts and considering what she acts like, I could actually see that. Anyways, I really think that Eren and Annie will pair up because Annie's so distant from her emotions, yet she's the only female Titan, and Eren is so in touch with his emotions. He's very determined that he actually respects Annie, and then that way we can actually see that because he used her move that she had used on him earlier that day to take out Jean or Jean. So at the same time, I think that he really respects her, and I think that Annie is at least somewhat wants to be friends with him, and you can kind of see throughout the series that she does take notice of him, and she doesn't really give a crap about really any of the other characters. And then the other ship with Mikasa and Armin. Mikasa is obviously a little bit quieter, and at the same time, she's very strong. She is the physical force of the anime, and she's very valued by pretty much all the troops in the anime. And she's very caring. Armin, on the other side, is little unexperienced, uneducated, well, very educated, but not very knowledgeable in love, and at the same time, he's the brains of the operation. He wants to be stronger. And so I really think that that could evolve into a really good ship.
And I want to say that in that case, even though like Mikasa is really like cold and distant and really strong and very athletic and can totally kick anyone's ass, and considering that Armin is like a wimp and kind of a pansy, even though he is very smart, he's not like totally controlling.
What?
I just read this, and apparently Armin's a girl.
That has never been confirmed.
It's just confirmed because the writer did a Q&A, and he just said that Armin's a girl.
Well, I was just about to say that Mikasa is actually submissive and Armin's really dominant.
Not anymore.
Well, every gay ship in this anime is now allowed, except for the one ship that we will not talk about.
The Colossal with the armor.
No,
Wow.
Jean Marco. Psh. Oh god, I talked about it.
No, I'm blown away at that. Just that
We are not talking about this ship.
I'm not even talking about the shipping. I'm talking about Armin. That really just throws me. Armin's a girl. She's a pretty little girl.
And at the same time, she dresses like a guy. Like, even when they were kids, he dressed like a guy. Or she, I guess. If we're
Yeah,
going by
and
this.
she must have had no boobs.
No, but I swear to God, I thought I heard Aaron say, you know, like, is he going to be okay? Where's Armin? Is he going to be all right?
I don't know.
No, so maybe they put Armin in as a male character just for the American version, which I guess is, like, typical.
English.
Well, like, I know that this is kind of, like, unrelated, but in, like, Full Metal Alchemist, the original, the voice of Alphonse was a boy, but I actually met the girl who did the voice of Alphonse in Brotherhood.
Well, voice actors don't really count because by that logic, everybody in South Park would be male, I guess.
I know,
believe
but
it is.
Aaron's voice is so male, and the way he looks at Mikasa, it's like, I don't know, he looks at him like...
You were right. Mikasa's a lesbian.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh.
Well, I mean, in, like,
We're
the
gonna
way...
get so much hate on Tumblr.
yeah, we're
No.
going to die.
No, the way Armin looks at Mikasa, it's like he loves her in, like, the way a man would love another woman. So even if he is a girl, he still looks like he's portraying the
women
guy.
can't love each other the same.
No, I'm all for lesbians. It's just...
Love is love.
Yeah,
and sometimes
exactly.
love can come from a fist.
Okay, we are not talking
It doesn't
about...
matter if it means
Dude, stop,
to the
stop,
face
stop,
or
stop,
to
stop. Stop.
He's right. We're gonna get...
Alright, so let's rate this anime. I give this anime, and let's just say I am a little bit biased on this one because this is one of the first actual animes that I've seen in a long time. And so I'm gonna give this anime 7 out of 10 Colossal Titans. Nova?
I would say considering its fan base and considering how well thought the art design and the characters and everything goes, I'd say I'd give it 7 Colossal Titans out of 10 because it's really good considering all the other animes that are out there, and it's also one of the few that's actually being aired as new episodes on television in America.
My final verdict on it is I genuinely don't like how serious it takes itself, and then even with the comedy, like the comic relief stuff, it seems like it's still trying to make that serious. So, and do realize though, I also haven't watched it since it came out, because I was watching it regular as it came out. But in overall, I would guess I would give it like a chair out of 7.
A chair out of 7?
Chair out of 7.
So 1 out of 7 Colossal Titans.
No.
Just chair.
A 4.
A 4.
Yeah, chair means 4. Jesus, pay attention.
Okay, so we've got an 8 out of 10, an 8 out of 10, and a 4 out of 10. So, well, this
4
has
out
been
of 7.
a 4 out of 7. An 8 out of 10, an 8 out of 10, and a 4 out of 7.
Okay, if we were talking about Gurren Lagann,
No.
Zork would be fangirling so much right now and give it 10 communists out of 10 communists.
No, I'd give it, my drill is the drill that appears to heaven out of 1,000.
Yeah.
Okay, stop. Edit this part out. We are, like, taking this part out. Alright, so this has been Attack on Titan Shingeki no Kyojin. This has been our first actual episode of Otakuspect, so I really hope you like it. Remember, we are on Tumblr as Otakuspect. We also have a YouTube channel, which we'll probably put this video on first. And sometime in the future, we'll be opening up and putting our videos on SoundCloud and maybe even iTunes. We'll see where we start taking us. Thanks for listening. Please come back and see all the other videos. Give a rate or write a review. We absolutely love feedback. So thank you very much for coming and watching, and we'll see you next time.